I'm Jackie Jennings with SYFY WIRE from the con, and I'm here with actor and Comic-Con's #1 D&D Dungeon Master himself, Joe Manganiello. Hi.
Hi.
So can you just tell us about Death Saves? This is your new line. What inspired you to get into the clothing business?
Well, you know, I'm a big fan of streetwear, #1. Like, a lot of the stuff I wear, like, you know, like I was a big fan of, like, Undefeated, for example. Like, if you look, you zoom in on my Kobe Protos.
Yeah, very cool.
And I'm also a huge fantasy Comic-Con guy, just naturally. I was a kid who was, like, obsessed with, you know, The Hobbit and Dungeons and Dragons, and then I also hung out in comic book stores, and I went to arcades and hung out in arcades, and I read Stephen King novels, and, you know, had Iron Maiden posters and Metallica t-shirts and all this, you know, stuff that normally in today's world gets put into categories. You know, where even a Comic-Con, it's like, oh, well, Marvel's over here, DC's over there. If you like Game of Thrones, you're over there.
Yeah.
And somehow, like, the hardcore comic book readers get left out. Well, I want to start a streetwear line that combined all those worlds under one banner. And that's what Death Saves really is. So
cool.
My first collaboration out of the gate is with Dungeons and Dragons, because their palette and their cast of characters and creatures is so wide, and I thought, well, let's bring it back to the heavy metal days in the 80s.
Yeah.
And let's, like, make this some badass pieces that remind people of, like, where Skulls and Dragons and Fireballs and that type of aesthetic really came from. Those great art, Frank Frazetta, Larry Elmore, Jeff Easley, you know, these great fantasy artists.
And they are very bad. Can we see them? Because they are badass.
So this is our this is like our Venice windbreaker.
This is so cool.
So that's Death Saves. That's our and then this is a heavy metal artist, Mark Riddick. I got him to reimagine Kargoth the Betrayer, who was the first of D&D's Death Knights. He was created in 1983, and he was like an Iago type of character who swore vengeance on the knights for passing him over for promotion, and
awesome.
Became undead. So there's that. This is our UNC blue colorway. So in case you have those UNC blue Jordan 1s, this will go great with those.
Yeah.
And that's our Kargoth there. I don't know if there's anybody of my generation who remembers the 1980s D&D cartoon.
I think this is my favorite.
But this is our 80s Cartoon Shield logo. It's the mouth that the kids rode into.
Yeah.
In the amusement parks. We got that. And then for 5e, for our younger 5e D&D fans, Death Saves, actually the Death Saves rules didn't exist in previous editions before 5e, but in case you hit 0 hit points and you don't know what to do, you can just look at your friend's shirt.
Turn around, man.
And know what the rules are. So that's
awesome.
Our Death Saves rules shirt, which is also available up online. As is, well, this is our special Comic-Con colorway.
Yeah.
The Bold Beholder colorway was available only yesterday at our in-store launch at Bait, San Diego.
That you were actually at.
That I was at, working the registers, selling the first pieces. So this was the Gold Beholder that was only available to those people who showed up yesterday. We might have a few left over that we'll do some giveaways for later on down the line, but you can get the Red Beholder colorway on the site right now.
It's awesome. So Joe, most people don't know that you are a huge Dungeons and Dragons fan. How did that start?
Huge. I mean, it started like way back when I was a little kid. I wound up finding a red box basic set, which was, it was a red box, and it had this Larry Elmore painting of this warrior. You were like looking over his shoulder as he was like squaring off against this big red dragon, and it was like this amazing image. And so I bought that set, but then it turned out you needed other people to play it with. But there was a solo adventure in the box, so I play the solo adventure over and over because I didn't have any friends to play with at that age, and it wasn't like Dungeons and Dragons. There was a stigma growing up, so it was hard to say that you were into that. Like you're gonna get into a fight if you said you liked it. And then also like churches were collecting the books and burning them because they thought they were satanic, and so there was this whole thing, and it was like a secret society that started when I was a kid. And so there was like a break of about 20 years where I didn't play. And then just recently, it turns out that like every director, writer, comedian, actor I know plays. So we all started playing again.
Yeah.
Later in life.
What's your alignment?
What's my alignment?
You chaotic good?
What's Joe's or what's my character's? Because those are two very different
Ooh,
things.
Okay. Can we do both? Can we do what's Joe's, what's your character?
I'm lawful good.
Lawful good.
I really am. Like, I'm a lawful good person. I live by a code. I come from Pittsburgh. Don't mess around. Don't be an idiot. You know, protect the women, you know, protect my wife, protect kids, protect the planet. Like, I'm that guy.
Yep.
But when I play D&D, I'm like evil.
Yep.
Completely evil.
That's the beauty of D&D. You can just flip it. Okay, so you're evil in the game. Your character is evil.
In the game.
In the game.
In the game.
To be clear.
Yes.
What's the most evil thing you've ever done?
Well, I got asked to play, there's a show called Critical Role. It's a weekly Dungeons & Dragons series, and they asked me to play on it, and I wound up befriending the characters with an ulterior motive, because my character worshipped the evil dragon goddess Tiamat, who's been imprisoned in this well in hell. I stole the hand of Vecna, chopped my own hand off, fused the hand onto mine, teleported away, and then showed up on the first plane of hell, Avernus, so that I could break Tiamat out of her chains and take over the world with her dragon armies. So that's probably the worst, most backstabbing thing I've ever done in Dungeons & Dragons.
That is pretty evil of your character. What's your character's name?
Archon the Cruel.
Archon the Cruel?
Yeah.
Even his name is evil.
It is, yeah. My wife, like, she knows how much I love the character, and she contacted Jeff Easley. He used to paint all the old players' handbooks and Dungeon Master's guides. She got in contact with him and had him for my birthday this past year paint me an oil painting of Archon that I have in my basement by, like, the master Jeff Easley, which is like mind-blowing. Like, there's no bucket list for a kid. Yeah, there's no bucket list.